No breath, no heartbeat, just static remains. Hollow reflections, ghosts in the crowd. So come burn down my escape. I wanna feel it, come drag me into the void. Let my circuits decay. I'm sorry, but it's too late. You build a
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Trackside Broadcasting. It's the start of a new week, and there's no better way to kick it off than some on-track, high-speed competition this evening. As always, before we get underway, we'd like to thank the Tanzo Racing Group for hosting this league and for letting us bring you all the action this season. And also thank you to our sponsors, Spectra Racing and Clark St. James Motorsport, and also Murby Goes. Please make sure you share the YouTube link to friends and family as well, so more people can support your favourite drivers out on track. So we're now on race 3 of 8 tonight here at Zandvoort, a crazy serpentine-esque racetrack, lots of elevation, twists and turns. But before we begin, joining me in the booth, as always, will be my co-host and right-hand man in broadcasting, a man who brings all the energy and a great sense of humour too. So let's get him in here with me and say our hellos. Good evening, Gaz, or shall I say in Dutch, as we're in the Netherlands today. Goedemiddag, hoe het ie vanavond? That's the best I can do there, and hopefully the Dutch people in the.
Well, first of all, a fun Jimmy, a fun en dank u wel, en dank u wel. Well, first of all, let me apologise to our Dutch drivers if we utterly butched that one there, but
we're doing our best. We're doing our best.
We're doing our best. We're doing our best. We're keeping it all European, aren't we, Jimmy, this season? We're trying to do it as well. But no, Jimmy, I am doing absolutely fantastic. Look, the sun's been shining all day, got fresh air in my lungs, and we are about to enjoy some more GT3 racing action. You know how much I look forward to a Monday night, mate. There is nothing to be sad about here. Like you said, though, we are over in the Netherlands and we are racing a fantastic track. Like you said, we are racing Zandvoort, mate. We are in for a real treat tonight, hopefully. But Jimmy, what's your thoughts on this track tonight and with these GT3s?
I mean, this is one of my favourite tracks of all time. It's just so technical. There's just insane amounts of elevation. It's got some of the most fun corners out there in racing, and it's just one of the best. You can always get like really good like close racing here. It's always really intense because there's not a lot of room to go side by side, so you have to have a lot of skill from both drivers, and it's just as the track itself, so much fun to drive.
No, it's a track that I do know. We've seen it many times, as I'm sure we'll get into it throughout the evening tonight, Jim. But no, we've raced in it many times in many different cars. It's really a great track. I loved your description, by the way. A crazy serpentine-esque track. loads of elevations and twists and turns all over the place. I think you hit the nail on the head, so to say, there, mate. It's a brilliant track. I'm really, really, really looking forward to this one though. But as you can see in the background, we have got qualifying going on. But Jimmy, before we jump down to trackside and we have a look at how qualifying is getting on, do you just want to remind everybody real quick how it works here in the Tanzo Racing Group?
Yep, so this season features 8 rounds across a series of European racetracks. Drivers will get just 15 minutes of closed qualifying to secure their spot on the grid, followed by a brief 5-minute warm up before we head down to our 60-minute race. So the race will have 60% fuel maximum on board, which means pit stops are an absolute must, and it adds a nice little element of strategy into the race as well. It's also open setups as well for the cars, so each driver can tune the car to exactly how they like it and be able to get the most out of it that they possibly can. So yeah, we're on race 3 of 8 here in the Netherlands at Zandvoort, and we are down in qualifying at the moment.
Yeah, let's jump on down, Jimmy. Let's jump on down. Let's have a look. There's just over 6.5 minutes gone now of our 15-minute qualifying. As you can see, leaderboard just pulled up for you all right there. You can see, just remember, guys, we have got the 3 classes as well. We've got the elite, they're the pinks. We've got the pros, which are the blues, and we've got the AMs, which are the yellows. So just to remind you all on that one. But look at the split there, drivers. Jimmy, the elites all sitting at the top with the pros mostly filling out the middle part with the AMs down towards the end. It does split up quite a lot, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, they are kind of in their separate groups with Raymond van Zutphen and Joseph Greathouse kind of splitting the pros there. Rob Smith just getting ahead of. Never mind. Right as I call, Tim Reed then goes back ahead and is back up with the rest of the top guys there. So yeah, so a couple of AMs splitting the pros, but then everyone seems to be in their categories at the moment. I mean, there's a reason everyone's separated out into their different skill levels, and tracks like Monza or something where you can kind of mix everything up a little bit, like we had last week. It's kind of easier for those tracks for the AMs and the pros to kind of get faster because of the slipstream and everything. Whereas like a track like this, it's so technical. It really like just pushes you to be able to get the most out of the car humanly possible. So you are going to see a bit of a split between the different categories of drivers.
No, you really are, Jimmy. And again, you hit the nail on the head there. It's a very technical track, isn't it? Look, it's 4.2 kilometers long, 2.6 miles a lap, 14 corners in there. And like you said, right at the top of the broadcast there, Jim, it's so twisty and turny, serpentine-esque, just to say it one more time. And it really does clarify this kind of track. With these GT3s as well, I'm expecting some good driving out there tonight, some good racing between the boys as well, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few close times. I mean, look at Curtis MacArthur, Quinton Clumper, and Jordan Butler, all separate each other by. I mean, Curtis MacArthur doing the exact same time as Quinton Clumper. Quinton Clumper being 1,000th of a second off of Jordan Butler, and Jordan Butler being 6/1,000th of the second off of Joseph Greathouse there. So I mean, there's a lot of really tight times out there. A few people split up a little bit. Michael Gray definitely feeling very confident and fast on track at the moment. 4/10ths quicker than Craig Corrish in second place. Rob Smith and Quinton Clubber again have got a bit of a gap between those two as well. But I mean, we're 9 minutes into a 50-minute qualifying. There's still chances for people to set different laps and change that order up a little bit more before we go into the race.
No, there really, really is, mate. But if you look at it right now, the top three in each class are the race winners from last week. Obviously, Michael Gray in the elites. You got Otto Karras in the pros and Joseph Greathouse in the AMs, proving that wasn't just a one-track wonder at the minute for them guys. But they have obviously performed great so far this season. But it's looking like it's going to be another good evening for all three of those race winners last week in each of their classes. So again, mate, I'm really, really, really looking forward to a good race. Hopefully, though, I do like to see it get mixed up a little bit. Obviously, we say every week we want to see everybody who starts the race finish the race. But I love, 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 love seeing it when you see maybe someone who you don't suspect to be there at the top fighting away with the rest of them. Like we did see it, didn't we, Jim? We had, I think it was Otto and Quentin. They were up there last week, mixing it right in with the elites ahead of them. Joseph Greathouse, again, to bring him up, he was right there in the midst of the pros with Aaron Sparks, if you remember, who was leading quite a lot of that race as well. Pipped him right at the end of it, but They're all doing fantastic out there. I'm really hoping these guys can really pull out a great race for us this evening.
Yeah, it's that kind of underdog story, isn't it? Where you see someone just pull out a phenomenal performance, and then yeah, you can see the people that are going to get potentially promoted to a higher class at some point in the future. But yeah, you can see the drivers really pushing on track. I mean, look at the amount of gravel that's being thrown on track around here from drivers, just dipping their tires in there and pulling it back on track. And I think that's going to cause a bit of a an issue as the race goes on. There's going to be a lot less grip in those technical, tricky corners.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jimmy, you're talking about the gravel being out on track. Another one that these guys are going to have to watch out for. It's pretty, it's not a very well known fact that everyone knows, like with Zandvoort, but you get a lot of sand getting blown onto the track as well, from the North Sea sand dunes, obviously. And it can cause absolute carnage out there with some of these cars. Like I've seen it in the past with some like IRL streams. I've seen it with some iRacing streams as well, Jimmy. And it really can cause a lot of trouble out there. But with gravel, sand, and everything else going on, with how technical it is, you've really got to have your wits about you.
Yeah, I mean, it's as realistic as iRacing likes to get. Having sand blowing from nearby beaches onto track isn't quite isn't quite in the program just yet. But they do simulate it with other similar features like adding dust to the track and things like that. So to compensate for things like that. But you'll see it is essentially there's gonna be a lack of grip out there this evening.
No, no, absolutely. But these guys, they can all prove, and they've proved it time after time, season after season, race after race, that they're all absolutely capable of giving it their all out there and being safe, but racing as hard as they absolutely can to get as many points as they can each race, Jim. We see it week after week. There are some phenomenal drivers out there. But no, Jimmy, we're just over 12 minutes into qualifying now. There's a few minutes left to go. A couple of the guys who are sitting towards the top of the leaderboard in each of their classes sitting in the pits at the moment. You've still got Joseph Greathouse out there in the AMs at the moment, leading the way still. He's the only one out on track who is in class leading currently. Do you think we're going to see anybody else come out in the last few minutes here, try and do something? We're looking what? We're looking about 132 to 133, 134 lap time when they get going. Do you think there's any times to be made out here now? Well, there you go, a 131 right now with Craig Corsh and Michael Gray.
I was gonna say Craig Corish getting an extra position there on the timing board. I think it's gonna be tough for a lot of drivers out there because at this point the tires are gonna be they'll be starting to scream a little bit as a lot of the drivers have been pushing those cars as hard as humanly possible. There's a lot of gravel that's been thrown on track, and I think most people have already set their best lap times in that optimal window of the car maybe a couple minutes ago. So I can't imagine we're going to see too many people out there getting a faster lap time, especially with 2 minutes to go. I think everyone's just kind of using that time to get a couple extra laps in as practice.
No, absolutely. I think I've got to agree with you there, Jimmy. There's not a whole heap of time left in the world. I think these positions are pretty much set. You can see more and more cars jumping into the pits now. I think they've had their fill out there. Obviously, we've got the 5 minute warm up before that race in a couple of minutes, and we will obviously confirm it for everybody at home where everybody is sitting for the start of this race. But before we do go on any further, Jimmy, there is someone we have forgot about, and that is our lovely viewers at home. Good evening, guys. How are you all doing? Let us know who you're rooting along for tonight as well. Give us your early driver predictions as well, your race position finishing. Who do you think is going to finish where tonight? Let us know in the chat. And again, thank you for joining us. But there you go, Jim. We're into our last minute of qualifying. Oh, it seems like
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone at this point is now in the pits. There's a couple of drivers still out on track, but I think they're just driving around. But just showing a little graphic there so you can see 20 degrees C, so nice cool temperatures, 90 kilometers per hour wind. So it's a bit windy out on track. That'll affect the potentially the rear end through a couple of corners depending on the direction of the wind. Maybe push people a little bit wide, so the drivers will have to compensate a little bit for that one. But yeah, I mean, it's a lovely technical track, but you can really see on some of these angles just how much gravel got thrown onto track there, and it's going to be a interesting. I think the first few laps are going to be particularly difficult for these drivers because you're going to have to deal with all those other people, as well as have to drive around a technical track. And I think
well, That's kind of what I was thinking there, Jim, just to tag on that bit. They were out there on their own for these past 15 minutes. Now they're going to be out there with what, potentially 20. How many did we have last week? I think there was about 26, 27 drivers last week. Could be out there with a whole heap more for the next hour. But no, that is qualifying well and truly done there, Jim. Do you want to let everybody at home know how it's going to line up for us tonight?
Yep, so I'll go through the grid order right now. So starting in P1, leading the way in his class as well is Michael Gray, followed by Craig Corish, Tim Reed, and then Adam Wilson-Weir is your top four. Then we have Otto Karas leading the way in the pros, but P5 overall. Then we have Rob Smith, Phil Giles, Quinton Clumpert, Matthew Massey, Joseph Greathouse leading the way in the AMs and 10th overall in position, followed by Jordan Butler, James Vardigans, Curtis MacArthur, Sam Dowes, Raymond van der Zutphen, Ryan Clark, Sean Clark, Christopher Haynes, Mike Chadwick, James Moore, Casper Roost, John Harley, and Andy White rounds out all your drivers out on track this evening. Andy White, though, not setting a time, possibly either starting from the back or unable to start the race. We'll have to keep an eye on him. And yeah, there's a couple things that I always like to notice in in those leaderboards. You always see the two Clark drivers together, but usually I think every race we've had has been the Jameses together. I think it's the first race where we've seen that James Vardigans and James Moore have been separated in their order. Usually they're right next to each other on track and racing together the whole race, but this one they're split up quite a bit. So yeah, I imagine they'll find their way back together before the
No,
race starts. So.
No, sorry, Jimmy. I was just quickly double checking my notes on something there because I do keep notes on stuff like that, and I think pretty consistently the Jameses are inseparable. So we'll have to see what happens with them tonight. But Jimmy, just we got a few minutes left of this warm up before we get underway. But end of the season, obviously we're nearly at that halfway point. Do you want to let everybody at home know what's up for grabs at the end of the season?
Yeah, so we do have a prize pool this season, and with the prize money being generously donated by Murby Goes and Clark St James Motorsport, as well as Spectra Racing. So there's a total of £150 prize money up for grabs this season, with £50 going to each of the P1 champions in each category. So the elite gets £50, the pro winner gets £50, and the AM gets £50 each. So yeah, nice little incentive there to get some good results in at the for each race.
No, it's definitely a nice little added incentive at the end of the league season, isn't it, there, Jim? And it gives the drivers just that little bit extra something to go for. They're all here for a bit of fun at the end of the day and to see how they match up against everybody else. But you can't help but loving the fact there's that lovely little prize pool at the end of the season. So no, thanks to Murby Goes, Clark St James Motorsport, and Spectre Racing again for putting that money up. It's almost making me think, Jimmy, I wish I started getting back into the cars myself, but I'm not very good.
Yeah, get a cheeky little 50 quid, put it towards some IRL car repairs or something like that.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It always helps come something, but then again, 50 quid that could just about cover about 2/3 of a date night out with the missus, I think, at this point, mate. But no, we're just over a minute away from these guys lining up on track. Just to remind everybody at home, it will be a rolling start as well. So follow that safety car. Safety car will peel in, and they'll go down to the line. The lights will go off, and away they go.
And one thing to keep an eye on as well, a lot of the drivers here are in the UK, and we've got a lovely little heat wave going on at the moment. So it'd be interesting to hear how those guys sound at the end of the race when we do our our interview segment.
Tell you what, Jim, my mind goes back to when we were going throughout the winter months, obviously, a few months back, and how hot and sweaty and uncomfortable these guys were coming into the interview saying they were. It's what, about 26 degrees here, I still think, at the moment. I think these guys are going to be absolutely melted into their chairs come to the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I did a cheeky little race early on today, and I just couldn't do any more. It was only 15 minutes, and I was just already drenched. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about any other countries, but it is Blooming hot, as they say here in the UK.
Yeah, to keep it typically English, yeah, it's blooming hot. But no, it is it's rather uncomfortable in certain situations. But no, there we go. Next 60 minutes for these UK drivers are going to be a tough one. So we'll have to see how they get on, and we'll have to see how they sound. But the warm up is done now, Jimmy. They're going to start to be lining up on track any moment now, and then we've got our 1 hour's worth of GT3 racing to look forward to.
And just quickly in the YouTube chat, Marshmallow212, I'm melted into my chair and I'm not even racing. Yep, it is that hot. And I've had to turn any sort of form of air conditioning off just so you can hear me in the broadcast this evening. So it is very hot in my office at the moment. But we digress. All the drivers are now lining up on the grid, and you can see a little grid order there on your screen at the moment. So yeah, we'll cut to the drivers. We're going to do a rolling start. So you'll see a safety car pop in front of the drivers any moment now, and then we'll do a little. There you go. You can see it just in the front there. Do a little half parade lap around the track. You'll see the drivers doing a little bit of side-to-side wiggling. That allows them to get a little bit more heat on those tires before the race starts. And yeah, cold tires, less grip, so you kind of want to get anything you can possible before the race starts.
Absolutely. And you'll be seeing them weaving all over the place, won't we, Jim? Trying to get any temperature they can to these tyres before they set off racing for 60 minutes of hopefully fun racing.
Yeah, I mean it's a really like fun little track, and it is very technical, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the drivers can battle side by side around here.
Ah, Jimmy, look who's joined us. Baz Racing has joined us for this evening's race again. Baz, good evening. How are you doing, sir? Still looking forward to you joining us next season when you can. How are you doing this evening, mate? Good to have you along with us.
Yeah, he's only just home, which is why he's not on the grid tonight. Yeah, and I think in this weather he'll probably be enjoying sitting there maybe with a cold beverage and just watching the race rather than taking part. But just to start as the race goes, when the we'll see any moment now that safety car of the Porsche at the front there, they'll dip into the pit lane. You can see on your right hand side, and then it's up to our lead driver. As soon as they cross that start finish line, that is when they go underway, and you'll see at the top of your screen when the lights go on, that is when it is go time. So, oh, taking it almost 3 wide off the start. Great launch from a couple of cars further back there. I believe that was Otto Karas immediately jumping side by side as they go 2 wide into turn one. And lots of 2 wide action going on. You can see all that extra gravel out on the side of the track there. You do not want to be touching that because cold tires, gravel, not a good mix around a track like this. See them going as high as they can around that banking to carry as much speed through as they can.
There you go, Jimmy. Very interesting first few couple corners there. A little bit of a change though. Michael Gray, who did qualify in P1, now down to P3, was at first taken by Adam Wilson. We're in the first couple of corners, got himself around on the outside beautifully, but then came along Craig Corish and put himself up into P1 for the elites. Also, Phil Giles making the move from a P3 starting up to P1 for the pros. Joseph Greathouse, the only one though in his class who's managed to keep his position at the top of the leaderboard so far. So let's have a quick look what happened here.
Oh, that is a bad hit. Yeah, the driver of Rob Smith just going off onto the grass, trying to keep a tyre on track to get some. Does he get nudged off by Otto Karas? Let's see what's happened here. Oh, I think yeah, Otto just goes a bit. He loses the car sort of bottoms out on that. There's like a dip in the track as it goes up. There's a little bit of curbing there. I think he just bottomed out on that, sent him a little bit wide, and then I think they just ended up hitting into each other and causing a bit of a wreck. I think Rob Smith seems to still be able to go back out. Both drivers do have what's known as a fast repair. If guys, you want to let people know what that is. Actually,
Yeah,
let's watch Mike Chadwick quickly and see what's going on with him, and then we'll then we'll come back to you. Sorry.
it's okay.
So Mike Chadwick going alongside here. They go into this turn. Does he get on the curbing? And it wasn't left a lot of room from James there behind him, and just sent him round.
Is rather unfortunate. But no, just to remind everybody at home, that little meatball flag, that little black and orange, gotta go in. You've had too much damage. You can take your fast repair. So basically, you'll hop straight round into the pits. You're not going to get your fuel and your tyres affected or anything adjusted or anything like that. Just a chance for you to get your car repaired as quick as it can be and back out on track so you can rejoin the action as Rob Smith is doing as we speak. Otto Karas still in the pits at the moment. But Jimmy, we are 2 laps in. Craig Horish leading the way at the moment in the elites and overall with Adam Wilson. We're sitting just behind him. Michael Gray in P3 at the moment. Brilliant start from the 3 of those. Michael obviously dropping down, like I said a moment ago, from P1 to P3 with great moves from Adam Wilson and Craig Horish at the start of this race. Phil Giles leading the way in the pros still. P5
Sorry,
out on
so
track
just to
next to
interrupt
P1.
quickly. Rob Smith black flagged. So I believe that might have been a pit lane infringement. We'll have to check on that with the stewards. But he might have sped in either pit entry or pit exit. And yeah, he's got himself a drive-through penalty, so he'll have to come in and serve that at some point soon. So that'll be another 20-second odd loss for him as well. That's not a great start to the race for him.
But not at all what he's going to want as well. And the marshals are obviously looking at that incident out on track as we speak as well. We'll obviously let you guys know how that one does come out if they decide to do anything on that one. Thoughts on that one, Jimmy? Though, would you be doing much if you were the marshals in this situation?
It's hard to tell because it's just it's an unfortunate incident. You can see it there on the curbing. There's a big dip after that curb, and it does just unsettle the car. And then, like we said, when you got cold tires, and it's just that early on in the race, when your car bottoms out and you get less grip, you can't kind of keep a hold of it as well as you might be able to later on in the race. And yeah, they just tapped into each other. I mean, the marshals will have a more in-depth look, and they'll be able to tell us what's happened with that. As Mike Chadwick, though, dips into the pit lane. I believe he must have had damage as well. And
yeah, he must have picked up a little bit of damage somewhere out on track, or it's a
I think
very,
that's when
very early pit, and he's going for the two-stop strategy.
yeah, I think he might have picked up damage from when he got hit by James and got turned into that corner. He might have got a bit of rear end damage or maybe a little bit of wheel damage that he just wants to get fixed before going back out. Use that fast repair and join the racing action. And that's just a shame being 44 seconds down, 55 seconds down this early on. But like we always say, every single week, if you're going to make a mistake, you're going to get involved in something. Get it over and done with in the first few minutes, and then it gives you the rest of the time, the rest of that hour, to make up the time you lost early on. But yeah, Tim Reed though setting the fastest lap of the race, currently P4 in his class. So we might see him working his way back up through the field as he gains more confidence on this technical little track.
No, absolutely, Jim. Just to cut back to what I was saying a couple of laps ago, letting everybody know how it is. Obviously, Michael Gray now has got himself back up into P2, so he's making a charge back on the front just under a second, about 7-8 tenths at the moment behind Craig Forge leading the way. Down to the pros, Quinton Clumpert, though, in that little break there, Jimmy, has taken the lead in the pros. P5 out on track, P1 in class, followed by Phil Giles, Jordan Butler, and Curtis MacArthur. Matt Massey and Joseph Greathouse for the AMS there. Something seems to have happened to Matt Massey, though. I thought it was just an overtake at first, but he seems to be dropping down the pack as we speak, Jim. So he must have come off track somewhere. We'll check in on that one
Well, I think
very
we've had
shortly. There we go.
I think we've had a collision with the Porsche there as well. So we've got two incidents going on. Quinton Clumpert and saying Jordan, yeah, Quinton Clumpert and Jordan Butler looks like they've had it coming together, and both of them meatball flagged. So both leading their kind of classes. I know Quinton Clumpert was leading the pros. Jordan Butler was very high up in the AMs, and yeah, that's not what you want to be seeing at all. I mean, that is a lot of damage, and yeah, we'll see him dipping into the pit lane there. Jordan Butler also getting a penalty for that. But no, you saw, I believe it was Michael Massey going off wide. I think he just went a little bit wide and went onto the gravel, and he was just waiting by the side to rejoin the
Ooh,
track safely.
Quinton
Oh,
rolling forward, then just tagging one of the Spectra boys by the look of it. But Jimmy, it has been confirmed though. So Otto and Rob's coming together. There's going to be no further instant action on that one. It's just going down as a racing incident. But the collision there between James Moore and Mike Chadwick. James Moore now has a warning for contact on that one. Now I think the marshals might be looking at Quinton here for this one as well. To be honest with you, because he seems to not held his brakes there.
I think he was holding his brakes pretty strongly. I mean,
Well,
I think it was the back. I think it was the momentum of the car was kind of carrying him around a little bit, and I mean, at the same time, there was not a lot of room left from Jordan Butler there, so it's a hard one to
It's like I
kind of
say,
analyze
Jimmy.
that quickly.
I'm glad that we don't have to make those decisions because obviously, we're quite opposite right there. So I'm sure the marshals will be looking at that one, and we'll let everybody know if anything does indeed come of that one. But now Phil Giles, for the third time of trying this one with the pros. Phil Giles now leading the way, a third different leader in the last few moments there, Jimmy. We've got coming from P3, starting on the grid tonight, now leading the way, followed by Curtis MacArthur in P2 for the pros. Joseph Greathouse performing brilliantly again tonight. P7 out on track, really splitting the pros. But then again, so are the rest of the AMs tonight. I know we've had a few instances here, but Joseph Greathouse leading the way. P7 out on track, P1 for the AMs with Sam Duez just behind him in P2, P out on track. Then you've got Ryan Clark taking up your last position for the pros, and then there's a lovely little bit of a gap there before he's got to worry about any more pros coming up. James Vardigan sitting P3 for the AMs, Jimmy, followed by Christopher Haynes, Raymond Van Zutphen. But let's have a quick look at what's happening here with Matt Massey.
I think they had a little bit of coming together with Phil Giles, so we're just going to take a little look at what's happened here. And yeah, you can see Phil Giles gets a little unsettled on that bump that we talked about earlier. Matthew Massey, though, squeezing him very tight to the inside. Can we look at that again with a chase cam? I'd be interested to see just how close they got to each other, if possible. And I just want to take a look at potentially what happened here. Because if we can go on board with Phil Giles and see a little chase cam action, or maybe like a rear cam action, you can see, yeah, Phil Giles gets very unsettled as he comes through. Taps the back of Matthew Massey. I think Matthew Massey holds it fine there. Turns into the corner. I think he thinks that Phil Giles maybe have dropped a little bit further back because he's squeezing him as much as he can, and there's nowhere else that Phil Giles can really go with that one.
There is nowhere really for him to go there, but should he have slowed down, Jim?
It's a race. It's a race, and like I think that they weren't in an incident, and like he was enough alongside that he was alongside. I think he's entitled to race there, and I think it was just a squeezing gone wrong.
See, I understand what you say, but when I look at it, Jimmy, I see no gap there, and I see there's no point in continuing at the speed that I'm doing. I'm just going to ease off slightly. But again, the marshals are having a look at that one, and we will let you guys know what is the outcome of that one. Fendi Racing, though, Jimmy, joining us in the comments tonight. Good evening and good luck, everyone. Fendi, it's great to see you in here again with us here this evening. I'm sure you'll agree, Jim. Marshmallow, hey, it's a race. That's my favorite quote so far. Marshmallow, I do completely agree. And when the gap's there, absolutely go for it. But the gap wasn't there, in my opinion. But that's where me
I'd
and
argue
Jimmy
that the gap
differ.
was there. I'd
Hey,
argue the gap was there. I mean, he was alongside. His nose was level with his car. He was alongside to begin with. He lost a little bit of momentum when they had the little tap earlier, but he was still alongside, and I think he's entitled to space at that point. But I mean, he's
hey,
left room. Just sadly, it wasn't quite enough for him.
look, the marshals will make the decision on that one, not you, Mr. Jimmy Marshall. All right, I know that's your, I know that's your name, but you don't get to make these decisions. We'll see what the marshals say. But no, we do like to see the race now, so I have to agree. I have to agree with the guys in the comments. As racing as well, Joseph is very quick for an AM. Kept him honest last week. Got to agree with that. Joseph is phenomenally quick. Back out, still out, sorry, in P1 for the AMS, Jimmy. P7 overall. Nowhere near the back and nowhere near what anyone would think for the class, how they should be different. Like we say, every week as well. The classes don't really mean anything. It's their iRacing rating. These drivers have got so much quality. I'm sure you'll agree with me there.
Oh, absolutely. And we've just got a couple quick updates as well. So just quickly, Matthew Massey and Phil Giles. A warning for Matthew Massey there for not leaving enough room. So stewards agree with my decision, and I'm gonna wear
Mr.
that badge
Stewart.
with pride.
Thanks, Mr.
But no,
Stewart.
and Quinton Clumper and John Butler coming together, no further action. So yeah, everyone I think it's free to carry on as they are. I mean, on a track like this, I mean, you can't really be backing out and giving up position, especially if you're alongside, and just because it is such a tight track and it's so difficult to overtake with how technical it is, and there's not really that many opportunities for it. So if you do get alongside, I don't think it's anyone's. Oh, what's happened to John
So
Harley
where's,
here?
so where's John Harley going then, Jim? Because that is not the right
Oh,
way. Has he got a little
I,
bit lost?
I think it looked like he was going to avoid the gravel by going on the runoff, and then decides, you know what, I'll just take all the gravel.
Yeah, maybe a lapse of concentration there because he's technically still on the gravel.
I mean, luckily, the gravel in iRacing doesn't work the same way as it does in real life, and just gets bogged down, and that's the end of the race. I mean, I'm just reminded of Stroll in Canada last year, where he took to the runoff and was just like, okay, I'm just going to go through the gravel, and then just absolutely beached himself, and it's just that.
No,
But,
there you go, Jimmy. But whilst all that's been happening, Michael Gray has took the lead of this race again with a new fastest lap at 1:32 dead, pretty much as well, Jim. So he's back up on top where he started this race.
yeah, and he was flying in practice, flying in qualifying, and now he's flying in the race as well. I wouldn't expect any less. Phil Giles though, going a little bit wide, getting on the getting a bit off there. They leave each other room when they're battling a little bit, but I think
Oh,
the
is that Phil?
Lamborghini
Phil's
just
come round, tapped the
oh,
back of him there. Oh, and again, he's gone in for the second one,
that
forcing
was a
Phil out
uh,
of the
that
gravel.
was a clenching moment. Oh, Phil Giles is having a shocker at the moment.
Well, Phil
I do
Giles
feel
there,
for him.
Jimmy. He's had a really unfortunate first 13 minutes starts this race, Jim. I think you can agree with me on that one. But silver lining in it, mate. With those couple of instances there, he's dropped from P1 down to P2 and now down to P3. So yes, he's lost a few positions out on track to the cars in front of him, but it doesn't really mean a lot still. He's just got to chase down Ryan Clark, who's right in the middle of that fight. Well, right at the front of that fight ahead of him, with the AMs separating Ryan Clark and Phil Giles. So Curtis MacArthur now leading the way in the pros, and Joseph Greathouse still leading the way in the AMs. We are nearly about a quarter of the way through this race, Jim.
Yeah, cut the way through. And as Baz says in the YouTube chat, you have to be patient on this track and try and force a mistake. So we're just going to quickly go here. So yeah, Lamborghini just loses it, goes wide, and hits the rear of the car. I mean, look how close this gets. I think he sees him now, slams on the brakes, just avoids. Oh, I think he hits him again a
I
little bit
think
on
he
the
hits
back
him
as
again there,
well.
Jim.
Yeah. Oh, it's just. Yeah, I feel for Phil on this one. That is yeah, he's had a series of unfortunate events going on at the moment for him, and
Tell you one thing though, Jim. Great
what's that?
livery. Great livery.
Oh, it's great, everybody. We've got to see it quite a lot going.
I think that's why I'm picking up on it because we see it quite a bit this evening, not for necessarily the right reasons, but fantastic livery out on him there tonight. You're seeing just going past all the gravel that who was it who just a moment ago brought all that back out on track with them when they went off? Was it Matt Massey? Was it?
Well, I mean, Phil Giles did it again when he got sent off then as well. But yeah, sorry, just quickly, yeah, Baz, in the YouTube chat, you have to be patient on a track like this and try and force a mistake, or the old mind punt, as it's known. You kind of put the pressure on the opponent in front of you. You don't ever touch them, but you just kind of panic them into making a little mistake, and then they go off. Who is racing the black and copper Merc livery? My vote for livery of the race, very striking. That is from Fendi Racing. That is one of the Spectra boys, and I know they sent us a little chart of which one's which, but we might have to go through and take a look at which one's in the sort of orangey copper livery for
Right,
Spectra.
Jimmy. What I will quickly do is I will see if I can find that one because I'm on the messages for it, and if I remember correctly, it's Ryan Clark's livery. That one is.
Oh yeah, it could be Ryan Clark, couldn't it? But yeah,
Yeah,
I think our cameraman is currently reviewing the incident as he was also our steward. There you go, Ryan Clark on screen at the moment. Yeah, adding that sort of, I would say it's chromed, that kind of sort of metallic chrome kind of look to the livery as well, does make it very striking. I know people love like a matte livery; they think it looks kind of mean and everything, but
it
yeah,
does.
put some metallic shine on that, and yeah, that's my kind of thing. I think it looks a bit more appealing, personally. Oh,
Hey,
would you like
there
to
we go. I was just going to
read
say,
that?
Jimmy, we had a little incident being looked at a moment ago. There is a 5-second penalty for car number 23, which is Sam Duez James forcing another driver off track there. So
Yeah,
took
that
a
was
5-second penalty for that incident a moment ago.
Yeah, he was in the Lamborghini that hit Phil Giles there. Phil Giles, though, I mean, like you mentioned it before, and yeah, he had a tough one, but he's still in P3 in class, which I mean, you got to give it to him.
Hey, no,
keeping
you really,
keeping
really
on the
do.
podium with some incidents like that as well. I mean, Curtis MacArthur though is he's having a great time as let's see what's happened here. Jordan Butler
Another
and
strike in a Spectra livery there, similar to the orange and black one that we saw. But what has happened here? So he's gone
or
wide.
just carried yeah a lot of speed through there. I mean that particular corner does tend to throw you a little bit wide, and he's just gone off onto the gravel.
And
And
yeah, doesn't lose any positions, doesn't come into contact with anyone. Nothing really to be writing home about on that one there. But no, Jimmy, carry on with what you were saying about Sam Duez a moment ago, just tapping the back of Phil Giles, I believe it was.
um, yes.
The moment gone, it's okay. It's
At the moment,
okay,
it's good.
Jimmy.
Yeah, I can't remember what my train of thought was, but yeah, I mean, oh, that was it. I was going to say, yeah, Curtis MacArthur as well has had a great race leading the way for the pros, but Joseph Greathouse, though, being just off the back of the pro of Curtis is, yeah, I mean, that's fair play to him. We're seeing a lot of the pros getting mixed up with the AMs at the
See, and
moment.
see, this is why I think Phil Giles is still in a very good spot there, Jim, though, because of how quick he was at the start of this race in the first 15, 16 minutes. Just cut back to that one in a moment. What's happened with Quinton here in the green
I
Porsche
think
that
you
we
might have
see just on
the same
screen?
situation, just goes a little bit wide on
Exact.
that exact same corner, exact same thing. And then
Carries
I think
too
we'll
much
see a lot of
speed.
that.
Yeah, carries too much speed there. But no, with how quick those guys are in the pros and the AMs, like you said with Joseph Greathouse, like James Vardigan's Raymond, Sam, Christopher, everyone to be fair, I can name them all. Like with how quick they were and how great of a start of a race they had, it allows for these couple of instants like Phil has had. Yes, okay, he's come off of P1, he's dropped to P2, and then he's gone from P2 to P3, but he's dropped a few cars. It doesn't matter though. It's still a great position for him to be out on track. And before he's got John Harley to worry about, who's sitting in P4, he's got three other cars behind him, all in a different class, who he's not going to be too worried about at the moment because they're about 15, 16 seconds off of him at the moment.
Yeah, which is a pretty big gap there, 16 seconds, especially on a track like this. And we saw there was a little bit of a disparity between the times of the drivers in qualifying, little gaps here and there. But yeah, 16 seconds is going to be hard work to make up, even if you are half a second quicker than the other drivers. Because missing the front of James's car there. I wonder if that was when he tapped into the back of the uh,
Surely that's going to be giving him some issues there, though, Jim.
yeah, yeah, on a track like this, you kind of want a bit. I think the more downforce you got on your car, I think the better. But you know what? Fair play to him for actually carrying on and not seemingly losing too much time from
Well,
it.
well, if you're not losing too much time, you're not fighting too much. With 20 minutes gone, Jim, we are coming closer and closer to that pit stop time, aren't we? It's usually anywhere you see it from about 20. Well, I've seen it as early as 20 minutes before, but 25 minutes to about 35 minute, that 10-minute window, you see everybody start pitting in and out. Would you try and save it out there as well, or would you just think, you know what, I need to get in, I need to get repaired, I need to get back out?
I think for me, I'd be looking at the timings of how much I'm losing. I mean, if you think, say the accident happened 10 minutes in, you know pit stops are going to be in 20 minutes time. You got to think of like, well, you'll have the data of like, all right, this is how fast I was over the first, say 6 or 7 laps, and then like, say you're doing like 1 minute 33s, for example, maybe that's what James would have been doing, and then with that damage that he had, if he's doing 1 minute 36s, you're losing 3 seconds a lap, and then over 20 minutes, minute and a half laps, losing 3 seconds a lap, it
Yeah.
would be quicker to dip into the pit lane, get repairs, and go back out than you would from staying out and just losing that time. So it's you've got to kind of do the
Got to do the math on that one.
yeah, you got to do the maths on that one and figure out whether it's worth dipping in, having that extra pit stop, and or whether you want to just stay out and see if you can. Because sometimes when you stay out, you might be able to get into the slipstream of another driver and they can help pull you along. But on a track like this, slipstream isn't very powerful because it's mostly just corners. Then you haven't got the and you need that downforce to help tow you around. So it's James would have done the maths to figure out whether it was worth staying out.
No, exactly. I'm sure he'll know exactly what his strategy is in his own head. But like I said, Jimmy, we are coming up to that time where we will start to see drivers start peeling in and out of the pits, making their obviously making the changes. Any if they are tires, fuel, definitely be one to look at. But anything really can change in that second half of the race as well. Because I do believe in these 60-minute races, after the pits have happened, then it's pretty much all guns ho after that, and everybody tries to do whatever they can to finish off as high as they can to get as many points.
Yeah, and I mean that's the exciting bit once the pit stops are over, and you know everyone at that point is just pushing to get those positions. There's no fuel saving going on. There's no strategy anymore. It's literally just fast lap times here now, fast, fast, fast. And I think that's the bit of
Yeah,
the race I like because you see, we've had it before with people like I think it was last season when you see like Andy White and Adam and Tim and all that lot at the top, and you'd see like they'd all spread out for that first half of the race, and then afterwards they'd all be within a tenth of each other towards the end from the different strategies, and that's like
yeah.
the bit I always really like. Oh, my voice broke then. Happening again.
Oh,
Like, you're
James.
watching puberty happen live on the stream, boys, and
There you go.
at the ripe old age of 31, and
Oh dear, Jimmy. Oh dear. But no,
I
there you
know
go. We
the
are
heat's
going.
getting to me. The heat's getting to me.
Everything's going on too. Is it too much for you today, Jimmy? Do you think today to finish and go to bed? Do you?
I just need someone to come around, fan me, and yeah, just cool me down a bit. But
Well, on
no,
that note, Jimmy, I'm going to move on from what goes on in your bedroom. 23, 24 minutes gone. Sorry, Michael Gray leading the way with Craig Corrish in P2, Adam Wilson Witt in P3, with Tim Reed in P4. They are your elites for the moment, leading the way at the top of the pack. Curtis MacArthur leading the way still in the pros at the moment, with Joseph Greathouse leading the way in the AMs just a few seconds behind him. Ryan Clark taking P2 in the pros at the moment, P7 out on track, with Raymond Van Zutphen in P2 for the AMs, and James Vardigans is P3, so that's P8 and P9 on track, followed by Sam Duez in P10 at the moment. Phil Giles takes up your last spot at the moment for the pros. Will he be able to pull himself back any higher up there, Jimmy, and see how high he can finish at the end of this race? We will keep a track on that one. Phil Giles followed by Christopher Haynes. There you go. He made a move right there on Sam Duez, and we caught it. Brilliant. You couldn't ask for anything better there, could you, Jim?
that was perfect
No,
timing. That was.
perfect timing. Some would say I almost planned that one, but obviously it's live racing. I couldn't have. But no, there you go. Chris Haynes, as you can see on screen right now, in that beautiful yellow and green Mercedes, followed by Sean Clark just behind him in P13, Casper Roos in P14, with James Moore just behind him. John Harley, another pro down there, sitting P4 at the moment, with a fair way to go between him and Phil Giles. He's really going to have to see what happens. Followed by Matt Massey in P17, P5 for the pros, making a move. There you go on John Harley and getting himself up to P4. These moves, whilst they're on screen, are absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys for doing my job for me here. Rob Smith then just behind those two, just up ahead of him, with Jordan Butler just behind him. Quinton Clumpert down P20 out on track at the moment, followed by Otto Karras and Mike Chadwick at the back of the pack. That is your 22 for now.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame Andy White wasn't able to make the race this evening, and just added a bit more into the elites at the top. But yeah, I mean the four of them have been just amazingly close. They are spreading out a little bit now. I'm wondering how many of them are doing a bit of fuel saving just before we do the pits in these last few laps. But Michael Gray there getting a really nice 4-second lead ahead of the other
I tell
drivers.
you what, Jimmy. Let's jump on board with him, shall we? Because he's just going over to start his next lap in a moment. So, shall we jump on board with him and see how he does it out there?
Yep, so we're just going through turn one at the moment. A nice little hairpin there as we come up to this next turn here. A lot of banking. You can see you want to keep it as tight to the inside. You don't want to be fooled into that bank. And then this beautiful corner here. You generally want to stick around the outside as wide as you can. I mean, he's taking a slightly different line there, but you want to carry as much speed through as humanly possible. And then you get this nice little windy section. This is where I was saying that it was serpentine-esque with how windy it is. And then back to the elevation again. Very tricky corner here. This is where we saw a few people going off because you want to get back on the throttle, but it just pulls you wide off the track. Again, avoiding that big sausage curb on the inside, just clipping the normal curb as you get the car rotated, using the brakes to turn your car mostly around these next set of corners. And again, doing the reverse here, using the tiny little amount of braking just to rotate the rear end of the car, get it around that corner, and you can see it gets a little bit squirrely on exit because you are getting a lot of heat into the back of those tyres and you want to get on throttle as soon as possible. Heavy on the brakes as we avoid that big curb on the inside, and then use the camber to rotate us through, back on the throttle. Only sort of 1 to 2 more corners depending on your outlook on life left to go as we go through this big banking here. Back on the throttle, keep it flat out, keep it pinned, and then you follow the camber, using that to rotate your car so you can carry as much speed through, out onto the left hand side, and then back onto the start finish straight. Very, very technical. Wasn't able to call every corner as we went around there because they would just come out. They just come up at you quicker, fast
Well,
and furious.
well, 14 corners, Jimmy, in 132-1 there. He's absolutely flying mark where you can see why he's out ahead. But no, I love seeing the onboards, Jimmy. I call it each and every week purely for the fact, for one, the educational side. I love seeing what these drivers have to see and what they have to deal with when they're out there. And two, I just absolutely love this track. I love all of these tracks, to be fair. We pick some great ones each and every season here in the Zandvoort Racing Group. And it really does give you a proper feel at home, and for me as well, how it's feeling for these guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they coming up to the halfway point, they're already starting to get a bit knackered out there doing all that racing. It is hard work, and then in this in this heat and with the stress going on of racing as well on a track
No,
like as technical as this, they must be.
no, I tell you, Jimmy, I absolutely feel you, and I know you must be struggling as well, sitting here in our own respective offices. PCs are running and everything going that it is. It is a hot one this evening, and it's just not cooling down. Where I'm in the Midlands, Jimmy, we're still sitting about 24, 25 degrees currently at the moment.
Yeah, my office is my thermometer's saying 28 degrees. So nice sunny
Thermometer,
temperatures here for
there you go. I'm
9 p.m.
reading. My in-office temperature, Jimmy, is currently just tipping over 30 at the moment, though. So it's rather warm in here. So I understand the struggle, mate. I understand the struggle. And these guys really must be struggling out there. But we are just coming up to that halfway point of the race. So they've still got a little bit more to do this evening before they can put their feet up and have a cold one, Jim.
Yeah, I just seen that horrible message from the steward there, sitting in a
All right.
crispy 12 degrees. Yeah, it's a shame we
This
can't kick the steward out of the broadcast, but
Well,
we move on, we move on.
you know how the steward makes all the calls on racing incidents and what's good and what's bad, Jimmy. I think we should have a commentator's incident with our steward here, and we'll decide what happens to him a little bit later on for rubbing that one into our very hot faces at the moment.
I
There
mean,
you
I suppose
go.
you need a cool head to be judging these incidents, and then that's I think where we where we leave it.
There you go. Steward under investigation for hurting my sweaty-faced feelings. There we go. That's what we're going to call it for tonight. But no, Jimmy, we're half an hour in. We still really haven't seen anybody come into pit, though. Leaving it a bit later than they usually do. Any particular reason for that, do you think?
It's just a shorter track, and I think with corners like this, you can sort of lift and coast a lot easier, get a bit more fuel saving going on. I think we'll see everyone dipping into the pits probably this lap, maybe next, maybe the one after, probably within those, and then yeah, we'll see them pushing till the end of the race there.
No, we really, really will. And a couple more comments on our YouTube there, Jimmy, from Baz Racing and Marshmallow. That red and black BMW does look rather nice. I have to agree with him there on that one. And Marshmallow, can we boycott the steward? Ignore what he says, Marshmallow. You absolutely can boycott the stewards completely. And there you go, Baz, for you. Matt Massey in that beautiful red and black Beamer out on track for you just a moment ago, coming out of the pits.
I just want
There it
to
is.
quickly call on something as well. Look how close Phil Giles is getting to overtaking Rain van Zutphen, which would then put him in a really nice position that if he can get a really solid pit stop in and out in perfect time, maybe he uses fast repair if he has got any damage from those incidents, he could well be up fighting for a P2 by the end of the race. So I mean that is a heck of a recovery drive after yeah, getting a big old spin like that one, and Yeah, we've seen James Vardigan's now dipping into the pits there. I think he's going to be the first to go in because I believe was he the one with damage or was that James? I think it was James Moore had the damage, so we'll have to keep an eye on him
Yeah,
as well.
James Moore did have that front bumper damage that we saw a little while ago there, Jim. So no, definitely see what's happening with
Oh
him
no,
at
so
the moment.
Stuart just said, yeah, James Vardigan's was carrying. Oh no, or is that no? That is Phil Giles carrying front end damage. So yeah, front end damage on a track like this is it's crazy work to be having the pace that he's got at the moment. So I would put this up there with one of Phil's best drives that we've seen so far.
Look, there you go, Jimmy's getting right on the back of Raymond right now. See, I was wondering a moment ago, is Ryan going to make the move on? Sorry, is Raymond going to make the move on Ryan? Sorry, Phil Giles. There you go, just getting around Raymond Van Zuppen. Is Raymond going to get the switch back on him as he gets the inside onto the next corner, though? Phil Giles keeping it to the side of him. Has he got ahead of him, though, Jim? I think he has
Oh, they
just
are going side by
about.
side. He's inching ahead, but he's still going to have to
Well, he's
fight
going to
side
have
by
the
side into
inside.
the corner here.
There you go.
And
He's
he
going to
just
have
dips
the
ahead. Nicely
inside,
done.
tucks himself beautifully ahead of Raymond Van Sutten. Obviously, it's not a fight he really had to have, and he's pretty glad that I'm sure he'd be pretty glad, Jimmy, that he's got that done rather quickly because that doesn't let Ryan Clark get away, who's sitting up there in P2 just ahead of him. Again, a phenomenal drive with damage from Phil Giles this evening.
Yeah, I mean we talked about him a lot, but it's because he's been he's been getting involved, shall we say? And he makes the dive on Raymond Van Zutphen, not Raymond Van Zutphen, and Ryan
Ryan
Clark
Clark
there.
there.
And,
And does he get just ahead of him, or is yeah, he does. He gets ahead of him before the next corner as well. So he's tucked himself back up there into P2 ahead of Ryan Clark, and two beautiful moves there on Ryan and Raymond, respectively. There, Jim, from a damaged Phil Giles out there. Great driving from him, and he gets it done before the pits as well. So that's going to be crucial to his race tonight.
yeah, in one lap, well, in less than one lap, getting two very very crucial positions, like you said. I mean that is going to help his race out and. I think he's got a long way to go to. I don't know. I think he could be. I think he could be fighting for that P1 position. You know, I think he's
Hey,
close enough. I mean, he's what?
Hey, with his driving, if you put him in a fully repaired car, Jim, where he's going to have all of his downforce and be able to get all of his speed back, you never know what's going to happen. Phil Giles is a great driver. He had a bit of an unfortunate one, I believe it was last week in the end, and lost out in the end. But no, he's having a great race this week with damage again.
So just quickly, 10 seconds off P1. P1 hasn't pitted yet, I think, but I don't think Phil Giles has pitted either. Yeah, none of them have pitted yet. So I think he's in the running. I think he's in the running. Curtis MacArthur, though, dips into the pit lane. Phil Giles dips into the pit lane. So they are now going to be coming out next to each other on track. Well, not next to each other. There's still going to be 10
Well, you
seconds
got
between them. But
Ryan Clark diving in as well, Jimmy. So that's your front three in the pros all diving in at the same time. How are they going to come out, and how far apart are they going to come out from each other?
yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, especially it'd be like it's worth watching his pace over the next few laps as he gets that damage repaired on his front wing as well. Gives him that bit more downforce, bit more confidence in the car, and he's able to push a bit harder. Michael Gray though still staying out, leading the way in the elites. Joseph Greathouse leading the way in the AMs ahead of all the pros as well as Curtis MacArthur is leading the way in the pros. But Joseph Greathouse is yet to pit just yet. And yeah, he's had a great race. So has Raymond, and so is Sean. So has all of them. To be fair, there's been a few incidents further down, but
No,
I think
nothing
most of the drivers have
absolutely.
done really good recovery drives as well.
Yeah, there's been nothing. There's been a couple of instances. Obviously, we've had a couple of the meatballs, so a couple of guys have had to go in. But overall, there hasn't really been too much to massively affect this race. And it's one of those, isn't it, Jimmy? We've seen it before in the past, especially other series as well. One incident can really change the grid and how the race goes at Zandvoort. It's one of those kind of tracks.
It really is. It really is one of those tracks, and you can see already he's making moves on other drivers as he goes out the pit lane and gets that nice high line, gets that momentum, and gets the overtake done. So Phil Giles, he's got a bit of a gap now, and
Bit of a gap, but
like,
Curtis and John still got a pit though.
yeah, I think he, I don't think he uses fast repair, did he? Because he lost quite a bit of time. He's down. I suppose we got
Well, when
Yeah, because you got
when we
Jordan Butler in front of him, John Harley in front of him, Sam Dowes now. I think overall that's a bit more than yeah, he's lost an extra 5 or 6 seconds it looks like.
His
So
car
we'll have
does
to see how.
look repaired there, Jim.
Yeah, it looks repaired, but I think he didn't use the fast repair and he used the normal repair. And oh, he changed tires. He changed tires. That'll explain it. So maybe Curtis McCarthy stayed out, didn't change tires, and sacrificed that extra time and went for track position over potential grip at the end of the race. So two different strategies going on. Let's see how they get on later on
We
with that one. But yeah,
love to
Joseph
see the
Greathouse.
different strategies. Love to see how they work because we have seen them proper swap the order around at the end, haven't we, Jim?
Yeah, and you just want to see a title fight, don't you? You want to
No,
see
you
see
really
people fight
do.
for a P1. But no, there's a few more people further down. Quinton Clumpert dipping into the pit lane. Art Karas dipping into the pit lane as well. So I think over the next few laps, then everyone will be just kind of in that final stint of the race, and it'll be go 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 from there.
No, it really will be. And obviously, after everybody has pitted, we will check in on that leaderboard and see where everybody is sitting after it settles down a little bit as well. But Jimmy, we are what 20, just over 20 minutes left of this race. You know what I'm about to ask you. It's that time where I'm going to start letting you know that you've got to start thinking about your driver of the day for me. And guys, in the comments at home as well, let us know who has been your driver of the day. And it can be absolutely anyone. But for you, Jimmy, you have got the pro class tonight. I am going to take the AMs and our man behind the scenes is going to be taking the elite class. If that is okay with you, are you fine with the pros?
Yep, I'm absolutely fine with the pros. I've already got a few names in mind. I'll have to work out which one I'm going to go for in my head when the time comes to it. But
Oh, I think there's a
yeah,
pretty strong shout in there.
to
But
be
no,
fair,
we'll have
it's
to have a look.
there's a strong shout in there. But I think there's quite a few drivers out on track who've been having some incredible drives out there and doing really well. And yeah, I think it'd be disservice not to put everyone into consideration.
No, you'll have to definitely have a look at it, mate. But no, we'll check in with about 5, 6 minutes before the end of the race. You got a little bit of time to think about it, and we'll check back with you in a little bit on that one there, Jimmy. Sounded a bit Australian there. I just heard
I was gonna say I was at a bit New
that.
Zealand or something.
I don't know where that came from.
I enjoyed it nonetheless. But
Well, well, I think I was watching something the other day of Andy Sadekis in. Is it the guy from South Africa? Is it? I absolutely love watching his stuff, and I was listening to a podcast with him on the other day. So maybe that's what stuck in my head. Maybe there's a bit of South African there, Jim. who, who knows?
I mean,
Eh?
you do
Who
like your
knows?
accent, so I see what's happened to John Harley here. So he was the last person to pit. Did he? Let's see what's happened here. Does he run out of fuel or? Because he takes an odd line through there. He's staying very tight to the inside. I wonder if he's forgotten to pit. I think he's stayed out and is having to tow back to pit lane. Because I did see
Well,
on that timing board he was the only one that didn't pit, and it was gonna at 37 minutes into the race. I think you're running on fumes at that point, and I think he's going to be kicking himself with that one.
I'm not going to lie, Jimmy. That is something that absolutely baffles me. How have you forgot to pit? He
I
must
mean,
be so in the zone with racing that he's just completely forgotten about it.
I feel like we've all done silly little mistakes like that throughout our years of racing, and it's one of those things that you just get into the flow, and you sometimes you just forget to check, or maybe you don't have a fuel calculator or a crew chief or something that tells you to pit for fuel. Let's see what happens
What?
here. So Phil Giles going very wide onto the gravel there. I wonder if that gravel that was already there. I think that's the second to last turn. And I think, yeah, the gravel that was already there has just pulled him a little bit wide as he tries to carry too much speed going through.
Interesting night for Phil Giles tonight, isn't it? He's involved with something all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, he's getting his money's worth on the broadcast. I'll give him that.
Maybe he thinks that we don't show him enough on there. But Phil, you're getting your spotlight tonight, my mate. I hope you enjoy watching it back. And when you do, good evening.
So yeah,
There
let's
you
see
go.
what's let's see what action we've got out on here. James Vardigan's very close behind Matthew Massey, not fighting for position, but if he can get past him, then he gets to fight with Christopher Haynes to see if he can get into that P5 slot. See Jordan Butler going into the pits at the moment. Did he stay out? No, I'm pretty sure he pitted already. Oh, did he? He had an early pit on in the race, didn't he? With a because of an incident, didn't he?
Oh
If I
yes,
remember
he
correctly,
did.
and
He
then
did. He did. So maybe, yeah, I remember now. Forgot about that one at the start. There was so much going on at the first like 15, 16 minutes of this race.
yeah, it's been pretty chaotic.
I think our steward who's sitting in his 12 degrees is currently quite glad that there's not a lot now going out of track. He can put his feet back up again, probably. But I'm not bitter about it or anything there, Jim. I'm sure you can tell. No, but there you go. So pretty much after the pits, 42 and a half minutes just over that gone. Michael Gray still leading the way in P1 for the elites and overall, followed by Craig Borish in P2 with Adam Wilson Weir in P3 and Tim Reed in P4. Curtis MacArthur still leading the way for the pros at the moment with Joseph Greathouse still leading also for the AMs in P5 and P6, P1 in each class respectively. Raymond Van Zutphen still in P2 for the AMs and Sam Duez still in P3 for the AMs. That has not changed in a little while. Is Sean going to start trying to make a move on Sam potentially? He's got a little bit of time to make up. Not too sure on that one. Sean Clark currently sitting in P9 out on track. Phil Giles, P2 at the moment for the pro, P10 out on track, followed by Christopher Haynes and Matt Massey taking up your final spot for the pro leaderboard. James Vardigan's P13, followed by Ryan Clark, Jordan Butler, Robert Smith, Casper Roos, Quintin Clumpert, James Moore, Otto Karras, John Harley, and then Mike Chadwick at the back of the pack. So a lot of swapping around there, I think, between Quintin Clumpert and Otto Karras a moment ago, wasn't there, Jim? No, it was James Moore, sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of chopping and changing going on as like I said, that everyone's in that sort of pushing phase of the race, and then just trying to get those positions when they can. And I think with 15 minutes to go roughly, and it's a tough track to get overtakes on. I think this is kind of the most crucial part of the race because you can kind of defend for those last few minutes, but it's easier to defend around here than it is to attack.
No, it
Um,
really, it really is. It really is.
Yeah, sorry, Baz, in the YouTube chat. My normal trick is to forget putting race fuel on boards at the beginning of the race. Yeah, we've all done that. It's horrible when you do it in a Formula race as well, and there's absolutely no way that you can even pit to get fuel back, and you just have to do that sad retire at lap 4 or 5, and then before you can go back out. And it's one of those mistakes that you make once, and then it's just ingrained in you afterwards. It's like race fuel, race fuel, race fuel.
There you go. Again, Jimmy, I know I don't do as many like as races, as many leagues as you do, especially on the league kind of thing at this age. But surely you can't be forgetting the fuel. Do you really get that into your own head with other things that something as simple as fuel can be forgotten like that?
Well, I mean, sometimes you get like, I mean, we have quite a generous qualifying time in this one of the 15 minutes. Some of them like an official race is 8 minutes, and I've seen some leagues do even like between like 5. You kind of get that one lapper, and then by the time you go out, you do your out lap, and then you do your 2 laps, depending on the track. I mean, something like Spa where you got these 2.5, nearly 3 minute laps. Sometimes as soon as you cross the line, that's when you're sort of like finishing qualifying. So then the race starts immediately. Like, oh, the race is starting. So you just join the race, and then you haven't had that time between qualifying and race to swap your setups over, get your race fuel on board. So
Oh, there
it's
you go.
sometimes it's just, yeah, you do focus so hard and you get
Yeah,
such minimal time.
no, there you go, Jimmy. I tell you, something I did forget about, which I just remembered though. Sorry to just change subject slightly. We just talked about Sam Duez currently at the moment in P3 for the AMs. He's got a 5 second penalty. I just remembered. Now, if Sean Clark can get within that 5 seconds, that'll put him in onto the podium spots.
Oh, that'd be yeah, that gives Sean Clark something to push for, because yeah, he is pretty close to that 5 second gap, isn't he? 7.5. I mean, you got 15 minutes. That's it's a chunk of time, but it's not not an impossible chunk of time, is it, to gain
Well,
on the car ahead?
he's got 14 minutes and essentially needs to gain himself about 3 seconds. So he hasn't even got to gain the full amount there, Jim. Like I said, Sam Lewis with that 5 second penalty, I did forget about that one. So surely Sam and Sean, well, Sean might not be aware of that one, but Sam definitely will be. He's going to want to keep himself well above that 5 seconds to make sure he keeps his podium spot there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Sean's he's going to be locked in. He's going to be setting his lap times. He's not going to be yeah, if he doesn't know about the penalty, he's not going. Well, you're not really going to be pushing any more than you already are at this stage. But maybe Sam Duers is going to be pushing as hard as he humanly can to get some any extra time in. And at that point, you could end up scuppering yourself a little bit if you push too hard. But we'll have to see how he gets on, see if he can keep that position, or if he does end up losing it to Sean Clark.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Definitely keep an eye on the leaderboard to see what does happen there. But no, still leading the way in the AMs, Joseph Greathouse. Can you call it Goat House then? Possibly, but maybe that should be his name from now on. He seems to be outclassing everybody else each and every week. He's having another great race this evening. So yeah, no, Joseph Greathouse still
So
leading
just
the way
quickly,
and
a
taking over our
overtake.
P1. Yeah, just about to say, you've overtaken our leader in the pros, Curtis MacArthur there. Really, really showing how fast Joseph actually is out there on track. The fact that he's able to do that, putting himself a lovely bit more of a gap now between himself and Peter with Raymond Van Zutphen. Phenomenal driving there and a brilliant overtake, Jim.
Yeah, that was a very clean overtake. I think at this point, Curtis is thinking it's not worth fighting it too hard because at this point Curtis has still got P1, Joseph has still got P1 in their respective classes,
Right.
and
We called it with Jordan Butler last season, when he was an AM before he got put up to the pros. Joseph Greathouse, how is this guy an AM? He's performing immensely, Jim. He needs to be in the pro class, surely.
well, I mean,
Someone needs to have a look at that rating.
they're separated by their I rating. So if he's got a I rating of a set amount, then he's in the class that he's in. So maybe they might have to make an exception for a couple of these drivers. But I
There you
mean,
go. Sorry, Phil Giles just getting himself ahead of Sean Clark. They're still chasing down Curtis MacArthur, a couple of cars up ahead of him. But there is a fair bit of a gap there for Phil Giles. Sorry to cut you off there, Jim, just as he gains another position out on track.
now all I was going to say is, yeah, maybe they make an exception for Joseph and bump him up to the pros because, yeah, he's been flying so far this season.
Yeah, no, he absolutely has been, Jimmy. Absolutely has been. And the thing is, right, I sit there and I look at these cars out there and I look at all these drivers racing each and every single week. And I know you're going to agree with me on this one by the time I finish my little spiel here. But these drivers do absolutely brilliantly. Sorry, there you go. Ryan Clark just getting flashed out of the way there for Adam Wilson. We're trying to gain another position out on track and trying to catch up to Craig Corish and Michael Gray just ahead of him. Look, no, what I was saying, sorry, Jim, these guys out here each and every single week, they're getting better and better and better. How someone, like I said, now Joseph Grayhouse, how is he not in the pros? I understand what you're saying about the iRacing records and how that stands up and everything like that, which sets these guys in their classes. And I know we have the class divide, so we do get just not one out and out winner from 22, 23 guys out there sometimes. But it's really, really great to see these guys chopping and out between all the classes. Like I said, Joseph Greathouse, he's sitting right behind the elite. On paper, you look at it with the class system, he should be sitting down there having his own little race with the rest of them, with the pros just up ahead of him, with the elites just up ahead of him. But you don't, you get them chopping and changing all over the place. And it is really, really good to see. I'm sure you'll agree, Jimmy. Great to see how much improvement we get from these drivers each and every single week. I'm sure the guys at home can't help but agree as well. But Jimmy, this is your 3 minute warning. In 3 minutes, if it's okay, I'd like to call in your drive of the day. Guys at home, let us know as well in the next few minutes who your drive of the day is as well. Sorry to go
Yeah.
on a little bit there, Jim. I just get I absolutely love these GT3s and watching these guys and being commentating on these guys last few seasons. You really have seen, I've seen the progression and it's brilliant to see.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the it's almost maybe rewarding isn't the best word for it, but it does. I'm gonna go with it, and it is one of those rewarding things of like being able to commentate across a whole season and even multiple seasons for these drivers is you get to see them like advance in skill sets and move their way up from AMs to pros and get faster and faster and improve their like skills and abilities to race each other. And it's just, yeah, it is just awesome to see, and you really do see it with a lot of these guys.
No, you really, really do. It's great to see, Jimmy. But we are now into that last 8 minutes of the race. Is there going to be any more major changes? Michael Gray leading the way, just under 8 seconds at the moment, 7.7 seconds over Craig Corish, and he's got a little bit of a gap, a few seconds onto Adam Wilson Weir, who's sitting behind him, 11 seconds down to Tim Reed. There is a bit of a gap for the elites up there. Do you expect any changes?
It's hard to tell, but I mean, 8 minutes. I mean, Craig's basically got to do a lap, well, a second a lap quicker than than Michael Gray at this point, and I don't know. I think if you're not within half a second to maybe 2 seconds of the next driver, as we see very aggressive moves there from James Vardigan's trying to get some positions before the end of the race, and I think at this point there's such little time left. It's going to be very difficult for many people to make big position changes. I don't think the elites are really going to change unless someone does make a mistake out on track.
No, it's going to be difficult for them guys at the top of the track there to make up that time in the very little time that they do have there, Jim. But we're seeing chopping and changing like between Joseph Greyhouse, Curtis MacArthur. Could that become something where it invites Raymond in? Now I know Raymond's a fair way off at the moment, but one little tap, one little coming together could open up a whole other race here.
Yeah, it really, really could. And I mean, yeah, you see it. Look how close some of these guys are getting towards the end here. They really, this is the time that they really put a pedal to the metal, as they say, and then try and just push each other to the absolute limits and absolutely start battling.
We just saw it there a moment ago with Ryan Clark and Christopher Haynes, two different classes absolutely going at each other. You've got Otto Karras here with Casper Roos, two different classes again. I love seeing the fighting out here between these guys.
Yeah, they are fighting hard, seeing a lot of side by side. But what's also really nice is you're seeing a lot of room being given to each other. And yeah, it's just very respectful racing, even though they are pushing each other to the absolute limits, and that's what you want to see in leagues like this. Very, very skilled drivers, and they know how much they can push. And we've seen a few incidents early on, and I mean, those incidents I would put purely down to just it was accidental. They weren't trying to be overly aggressive, and sometimes little mistakes were made that caused other people to have a little bit of a moment and maybe get into an accident. But right now, those guys are they're embedded in. They know the car that they're driving this evening. They're comfortable. They're in the zone, and now they're pushing as hard as they possibly can.
No, they really, really are, Jimmy. And look, we are nearly into the last 5 minutes of this race. But so before we get towards the end of it and we see who's going to be winning, it is now time for the driver of the day. Do you want to start us off, or would you like me to start through the AMs?
If you start off with the AMs, we could work our way up through the classes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, Jimmy, mine's a little bit different this week. I'm going to give it to someone who you're probably not expecting me to. So I say it each and every single week. I love to see as many drivers finish the race as we see start the race, no matter what happens out there. And someone who's done that for me tonight is Mike Chadwick. He had a very early incident out there, really, really messed with his race tonight. And do you know what? He stayed out. I absolutely love to see it. If nothing else, even if you're not in the race, sitting there, look, just over 51 seconds behind, does not matter at all. Get those, get that practice in, get that time out on track, and get to know these drivers that you're going to be racing with for the season. Look, there's after this race, we got what 4 or 5 races left to go, and that's it for the end of this season. So no, for me, Mike Chadwick has to get it just purely for his grit and determination to stay out there. So no, that's who I'm giving to my AM driver of the day, mate. Do you want to let everybody at home know who your pro driver of the day is?
Oh, Phil Giles just quickly getting absolutely taken out in the braking zone. That is very unfortunate as
There you
as I'm
go.
about to announce who I just selected for my driver of the day. Well,
No,
not
you
just
got to go
selected,
with
and I
it.
selected a little while ago, and I genuinely picked Phil Giles for my driver of the day, as he gets Yeah, that was unfortunate.
It just,
I just want to give Phil a hug at this point. Just tell him everything's gonna be okay. Take a breather. This has been, oh my god, I just feel for him.
oh,
No
Phil.
rear end on that car. It's just watching
I think
someone limp home, and it's,
Jimmy, I think this happened with you last week as well on one of your calls, or maybe the week before you made the call. Literally, something happened.
I
But
know,
no,
and
Phil's had it tonight, hasn't he? Really?
yeah, he's
And
got
look,
to retire the car, and I genuinely hate to see it, but I stick with it, and my decision has got to be Phil Giles for just, if nothing else, but the mental fortitude to keep out on track and to keep driving, because he did so well to kind of get in those incidents and then sort of
he
push
really
his way
did.
back up onto a podium, and then yeah, sadly he got rear-ended by I believe it was John Harley, and yeah, that's ended his race there with literally 2 to 3 laps left to go. I'm sorry, Phil. That's a stinker, but
Is this a
yeah,
curse of the commentator, maybe? But because you hadn't said it yet, you technically hadn't
I
said
hadn't
it
said
yet.
it yet. It was in the
We both
system
know. We both
that
know that it had been spoken about. But no, there you go, Jimmy. We're still going to give it to Phil Giles. Look, he's had a torrid time tonight, and it's not finished very well for him at all. But again, I'm going to say that grit and determination from him tonight proves why he's getting it from you in the pros. Uh, our elite driver of the day is going to be going to Craig Corishlow. Look, that is from our guy in the background, our Mr. Marshall. He's giving it to Craig Corish. He went straight to the front in lap one. Absolutely amazing start, and only dropped to second overall all race. Absolute great racing. So yeah, completely agree with that one. I'm sure you will as well, Jimmy. Craig Corish taking the elite driver of the day there.
yeah, I mean, it's tough to say with the elites who it would go to. They've all just done phenomenal drives. They've all just put just fantastic lap times down, and I think whoever you went with, it was going to be a great choice. And yeah, I think I think we got a good set of driver of the days there for yeah.
No,
It's all
really
about the
playing
mental
amongst the pack.
fortitude for these decisions this evening.
I'm still saying that you're responsible for Phil Giles. Let's
The
have
commentator
another look.
curse getting so bad that before I even say anything, things are happening, and
So let's have another look here. So it is John Harley, I think, who does get involved with him. So what happens? Does he just tag the back of him? Is it?
so Phil goes a little bit wide, which I'm guessing caused him to slow down because obviously you don't want to get into that gravel. So he sticks to the outside. He maintains an outside line, leaving plenty of space on the inside, and then he does brake in a very weird spot. He's braking very, very early. Does he have a slow down penalty that we didn't see? Which is might be why he was slowing off, but at the same time, he was offline. He left the room, and then he just got obliterated.
He did indeed. He did indeed. Talking of penalties, though, Sam Duez up into P2 for the AMS. Jim Raymond is right behind him, though, so he's going to be dropping a spot there by the looks of it as well.
uh, yeah, drops a spot, but I mean, yeah, Raymond Van Zutphen's had a really good drive as well. I mean, we thought Sean Clark would be in the running, but no, it seems like Raymond Van Zutphen's sort of taken off, and I
Taking
suppose
away the reins.
Sam Dow's was running in P3, wasn't he? So I think Sam Dow's had the good run. Sort of that was my
Yeah, he's had
bad.
a brilliant
As well
run, but
on
he's put
the
himself down into another position. But no, Jimmy, we are on the last lap now, so we're going to sit with our race leader, Michael Gray. He has led from the start, qualified in P1, started in P1, dropped down a couple of spots right in the first lap, but then got them back not too long later. I'm going to sit along board with him now whilst he finishes his race off for this evening. Another great race from Michael Gray tonight.
yeah, I mean, he's just been relentless and just pixel perfect, inch perfect with just all of his lines, his driving. Like I said, he lost a few positions at the start, but then just took off. And then, yeah, he's
Absolutely
putting in a
took off.
great performance. Craig Korsch as well, putting in a phenomenal performance. Adam Wilson Weir, same with him. Tim Reed, everyone else, just
No,
yeah.
absolutely. Brilliant start from like Craig to get round on Michael and Adam, but no, Michael did pull it back. There we go. So just slightly different because Joseph Greathouse leading the way for the AMS. We're going to follow on with him first, Jimmy. So Curtis MacArthur is right behind him as well. So we're going to watch our P1 in the AMs and the pros finished pretty much together.
Yeah, and yeah, you can see like Curtis MacArthur just not really fighting for position because he knows he's got the points at the end of the day. Sometimes it's not worth making those silly moves or pushing too hard when you can risk your potential win. But no, well done to both Joseph, Michael, and Curtis. If those two can make it across the this last corner, which is flat out, so I'll be amazed if they spin out here. But yep, that is P1 for Joseph Greathouse, P1 for Curtis MacArthur. As we see, big flash, big wiggle as they cross the line. Very happy with those performances. I would say they're very happy with their own performances there, and yeah, they drove phenomenally well this evening.
No, there you go, Jimmy. There you go. And last couple of cars out on the grid at the moment. Sando is going to come over the line in P2 with Raymond Van Zutphen right behind him. But don't forget, we had that 5-second penalty there, Jimmy. So is Raymond going to take that P2 off of him? I think he will do.
Yeah, so that'll drop Sam Dow's down to P3. Raymond Van Zutphen will get P2. So well done to them as well. I mean, well done to everyone, but we're going to quickly read through the final finishing order, and then we'll go over to Gaz with the interviews. So P1 overall and leading the way in the elites class, we have Michael Gray, followed by Craig Corish, Adam Wilson-Weir, and Tim Reed. Then we have P1 in the AMs, but P5 overall is Joseph Greathouse. P1 in the pros, but P6 overall is Curtis MacArthur. Then we have Sam Dow's, Raymond Van Zutphen, Matthew Massey, Sean Clark, Ryan Clark, Christopher Haynes, James Vardigans, Rob Smith, Jordan Butler, Quinton Clumper, Otto Karras, Casper Roost. Then we have James Moore, John Harley, Mike Chadwick, and Phil Giles rounds out your 22 drivers on track this evening, as Andy White didn't start the race. So, well done to all those drivers. I mean, they put on a heck of a performance for us, and yeah, I think I'll be interested to see how they get on in the interviews and what state these guys are in on a blooming hot day like today.
No, absolutely. We'll try not to keep them for too long at all, Jimmy. We'll give a couple of them a couple more moments to gather themselves before we join in. So we'll start with our pro category. We are going to be speaking to Curtis MacArthur, our P1 in the pros
as well,
first.
but
Curtis, good evening. How are you doing, mate? Clearly caught you off guard there. P1
Oh,
in the
God.
pros. Congratulations, mate. How you doing?
Warm. Me and Ryan were just talking about
leave it at that.
the liquids that are coming off our bodies right now. It's not pleasant.
It is a roasty, toasty evening, mate. Indeed, and it's got very, very muggy in the past hour as well. So I can't imagine how you guys are feeling. But no, how did you find it out there, mate? It was a great race overall for everyone. You racing with Joseph Greathouse in the AMs. It made some great viewing, mate.
Yeah, no, it was. It's always a fun track. This place, it's one of them places that you've got to bide your time, and people hopefully race themselves out. There's a lot of nasty corners where you can make mistakes. So it was just a kind of a waiting game, and I got into position.
No, there you go, mate. Look, there we go. Look, I do not like to keep you guys for too long, and we're not going to keep you for too long with how warm it is this evening, mate. So look, before you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Tanso Racing League, you guys at Trackside Broadcasting do an amazing job, and finally Joseph Greathouse, he's sticking it on the pros like there's no tomorrow.
There you go. Well, we're going to speak to Joseph in a little bit, mate, so we'll get his side of it. No, but congratulations again on that P1, mate, and go get a nice cold one, mate, and have a nice chilled one, and we'll see you next week.
Having a nap. See you later, guys.
There you go, mate. You take care, mate. You take care. There you go. So that is our P1 own the pros there, Jimmy. Shall we speak to I don't think we've got P2, so we speak to Ryan Clark, who finished P3 in the pros.
Yep, let's bring him in here and see how he got on.
There you go, Ryan. Good evening, P3 this evening. How you feeling after that one?
Bit hot, to be honest.
Yeah, I see a theme occurring here now, but
yeah,
completely agree with you, mate. It's a hot, sweaty one. But how'd you find it?
Yeah, it's tough. Grip was really low. Very slippery out there, to be honest. In turn 10 mainly.
No, it looked like there was a lot of debris going out on track as well. There was a little bit of a wind out there as well, so it didn't look too easy. But you guys had some great driving, some great racing out there to watch tonight, mate. So no, congratulations again on that P3.
Cheers.
Look,
Good to finally be back here, you know.
No, absolutely,
Been a
mate.
while.
Good to speak to you, mate. Good to speak to you. All right, then, mate. Look, we're going to let you go. We're not going to keep you for too long. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Well, I'm speaking on behalf of Matt as well because Matt had to shoot, so that's why he won't be in for the interview, P2. So, but yeah, fair play to him. So yeah, shout out to the sponsors really. Simworks for all the work they do and what you guys do.
No, you're very welcome, mate. And thank you for giving us a great race this evening. Look, we'll catch up with you next week, though. All right.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, guys.
See you later, mate. Have a good one.
Take it easy.
There you go, Jimmy. So that's who we're going to speak to from the pros. Shall we jump up to the elites and shall we speak to Adam Wilson? We're finishing in P3 tonight.
Yeah, let's bring him in and see how he got on.
Adam, good evening. Congratulations on that P3, mate. Great race tonight. Just couldn't quite get past Craig and get up to Michael in the end. How did you find it?
Yeah, it's very hot, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was the mid race. The traffic was tough. I was catching Craig a bit near the end, and then my headset's on VR, so it decided to freeze on me, and then I went off track, so there was no chance getting him in.
There you go, mate. There you go. These things happen, though, don't they, mate? But no, it was a hot one tonight, so surely that made it a little bit more difficult for you guys out there. Oh, hello, Adam.
Oh, hello, sorry, having some technical issues.
No, there you go. Look, I'll tell you what, mate. Your technical issues and a very warm evening. Look, we'll let you go, mate. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah, just the usual. Thank you for everyone tuning in and watching the stream and rooting on the racers, and yourselves for putting on a good show, and also for the host of the season. So thank you.
No, you're more than welcome, mate. Thank you very much as well for joining us this evening, and we shall be speaking to you hopefully next week. Then, mate, we'll see you then.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
And yourself, mate. You have a good one. You have a good one. Look, Jimmy, we're going to speak to Craig Corish, finished P2 overall in the elites tonight. Let's bring him in. Craig, good evening, first of all. How did you find that race?
I absolutely loved that race. It was pretty good.
It was a brilliant race to watch, mate. It was a brilliant one to watch along with. I'm sure you had, like you said, you had a great one out there, mate. What stood out for you in that one then?
I think I just got a good start compared to Michael. I think me and Adam both got a good start compared to Michael. That put Michael in P3, and then I pulled a gap for about a second, roughly, while them two were battling. Then Michael caught me up. It showed me with fuel saving behind me. Had a bad exit, and that was the rest wrote itself.
There you go, mate. But hey, look, like you said, mate, a brilliant start from you off the line there. I think you got ahead just onto turn one to put yourself into P1. And we know Michael's not slow, so it's no small feat, mate. So no P2 tonight. So congratulations on that one, mate. Look, it's a hot one. We're not going to keep you for too long. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Just the usual, mate, Sean, obviously, and yourselves for broadcasting.
You're more than welcome, mate. You're more than welcome. Look, we'll potentially catch up with you next week and we'll see you out on track.
Nice one, thank you.
See you later, mate. There you go, Jimmy. So that is our elites that we're going to speak to. We're going to let Michael Gray off this week. He's got a little bit of family stuff he needs to get on with. So shall we go and speak to our overall winner, our P1 in the AMS? Shall we bring in Mr. Joseph Greathouse?
Yeah, let's give a little chat to him as well.
So, Joseph, first of all, good evening and congratulations on another P1 there, mate. How did you find it tonight?
I don't really know. I bought this track last week and just got really comfortable in the vet because I've done quite a bit of endurance racing in it.
Well, you looked really, really comfortable out there, mate. Not only did you obviously you came P1 again, but you were well and truly mixing it up there with the pros. You were having a great race with Curtis MacArthur, who finished P1 in the pros. You were right behind those elites as well, mate. You are seriously, seriously fast, and you give us some great viewing out there on track, mate.
Thank you very much.
No, you are more than welcome. You are more than welcome, mate. Look, we don't like to keep you guys for too long. So before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Friends and family that support me and you guys for hosting and broadcasting.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And look, with your race pace, mate, we'll potentially be speaking to you again next week. I'm sure of it.
All right. Thank you.
No worries, mate. You have a good one. We'll catch you later.
Yep. You too.
There you go. Jimmy, that is, I think, everybody that we are going to be speaking to this evening. We've got to let those English drivers get up and start to cool down a little bit. Like we said multiple times, it is very, very warm this evening. I'm sure you'll be glad to get away from the PC for a bit as well.
Yeah, I think we all need to go and cool off after that race. I mean, that was that was intense for a lot of the drivers out there. And yeah, but that is sadly checkered flag from us here at Zandvoort, and checkered flag from us here at Trackside Broadcasting. Thank you again to everyone at home for watching and supporting your favorite drivers this evening. Gaz, any final words?
Yeah, Jimmy, as always, mate, thank you first of all for joining me in the booth as you do each and every single Monday evening. I'm already really looking forward to the next one. I'm sure you know why. It is one of my favorites. Zandvoort's one of yours. This is one of mine. But before we do get going, I just want to thank Spectra Racing, Clark St. James Motorsport, and Merby Ghost for sponsoring us again this season, and to the Tanzo Racing Group for letting us bring you all of the action each and every single week. Look, we're going to say goodbye to Zandvoort. We're going to head back over to Italy. We're going to continue next week, race 4 in our all European season. We are racing at Imola, Jimmy, a fantastic track. But with that said, I want to thank everyone again at home for watching, and to all the drivers out there tonight. Make sure you all have a great week, and we shall catch you all on the next one here on Trackside Broadcasting. Good night, everybody.
You built a monster.